for the Devil in the Details Big Match Preview.
This week's Devil in the Detail Game Day video podcast. I'm Rob Parkinson, and we're looking to preview the game against Featherstone Rovers on Sunday and all the big news regarding Tim Sheens that's come out in the last couple of hours. Joining the show this week, as always, is Paul Whiteside. All right, Paul, mood's not got much better with the news today, has it?
Hiya, Rob. Yeah, the mood's not been so good today. We've had some more bad news after the few blows that we've had this week, and Tim Sheens going is another body blow for the supporters. But the supporters are still going to be there, aren't we? We're going to keep fighting, and we'll be there on Sunday cheering them on. But we have got a bit of good news, because the young under-19s have gone away to Headingley tonight and put 52 points past Leeds Rhinos, the Salford Red Devils under-19. They've won 52 points to 30, so a big shout out to them. Tries from Jack Thompson, Aaron Moore, who scored a hat-trick, Brad Story, Brad Whelan got 2, Jack Cottington, and Lewis Farias kicked 8 from 8, but missed the final one. So we won by 52 points to 30. So congratulations to the under-19s. We're really proud of them there, and hopefully we'll see some of them lads in the team soon.
Yeah, what a great result for the under-19s. Gaz Carvel's boys, putting a fantastic performance, and after the last couple of hours, all the news that's come out today, we needed something like that to lift the spirits. Also joining us on the show, we've got Dan Robertson. Right, Dan, looking today, the club's come out with Adrian Molly making a big statement about the fans getting behind the club and the team, and it's important us fans, stick together and don't turn on the players and the club at this crucial moment.
Yeah, good evening, gents. Paul, Rob. An interesting day in the life of a Salford Red Devils fan today. Disappointing with the announcement of Tim Sheens going to Hull Kingston Rovers as their head coach from next year. Bit disappointed, like I've said. It's, the 3-year plan that Marwan and Tim had said was going in place has only lasted just over 12 months. So I guess, again, it's watch this space. There's lots of things happening at the club, in and around the club. But yeah, you're right, Rob. As supporters of the club, we need to stick together. We've got some big games coming up that we can win. If results go our way at weekend, if Leigh can beat Huddersfield, which I think they will do, then we could sneak in at third spot, depending on if we do quite well in these next 3 games. So yeah, interesting day. Some lows, some good news from the under-19s tonight. Like Paul said, going to Headingley and putting 52 points past them. So good and bad things today in the club. Yeah, let's see what happens.
It's all about strong leadership now. Obviously, with the Tim Sheens news, it's up to the players and Ian Watson to remain focused in the next 3 games, and starting with Featherstone on Sunday, and then hopefully, we win the next 3. And if we don't make if we're in the £1 million game, then that's the way it is. We have to see what we can go from there. But hopefully, win the next 3, results go our way, Paul, and we end up third.
Yeah, I think third place is out of our hands now, Rob, innit? We've got to depend on other results now. I think if we even won our 3 games, we still might end up, not making it, and ended up in that £1 million game. As far as Tim Sheens go, he's a bit of a surprise today, but he said it's business as usual. But I don't think he is. I think he's going to have to go now. There's a conflict of interest there, definitely. If we end up playing Hull KR now in that £1 million game, I don't understand how Tim Sheens can stay there. I don't see the point of him still being there. Tim Sheens is, in charge of recruitment and things like that for next season. And if he's not going to be here, there's no point. So I think he should, step aside now and let Ian Watson get on with the job of fighting to keep our club in Super League, because that's going to be a big task now for Ian. And but I think he's good enough to be on his own now and do that. But I just hope the players, it's not affected them too much this week, and they show the same sort of fight the under-19s have shown tonight, because they've done us proud tonight. And let's hope the first team do in the next three weeks as well.
With that, Paul, big task ahead for Ian Watson, especially with all the let's call it the circus going on. You're really hoping, Dan, that the players have been sheltered from all this and fully focused on beating Featherstone on Sunday. I'm sure the players will be wanting to, put a marker out there and prove to everyone who's out there in the outside like us that it's not affecting them, and they're fully focused on retaining their Super League status for next season.
Yeah, I totally agree, Rob. The players have got to stand up now, haven't they, and show what they've put on all season, because in regards to what's happened recently, we've still had a good year. As we've said, if we wouldn't have had the points deduction, we would have been in the top 8 for sure. We've got some good players, and even if they are moving on at the end of the year, if we've got some players that are moving on at the end of the year, we've got some players that are staying, they're still playing for the contracts. if they play out of form, these next 3 games and they are linked to be moved elsewhere, then are those, players going to be snapped up? If not, if they're going to stick around, then they have got something to play for. They're playing for their livelihoods, as we are really. We're supporting for our livelihoods. We've been here before when we got relegated at the Willows. We don't want that to happen again. We've got a good team, and I do believe Ian Watson is a good coach going forward. And let's see who comes in now to assist him. In the future, but the main key thing for us is keeping our place in Super League, and I think especially in the next 3 games, all the players need to stand up, be counted, and say, "Hey, look, we are as good as we were at the start of the season, and we've retained our Super League place."
19 that Ian Watson's picked today, Paul, for the game against Featherstone Rovers. It's another strong squad, and I'm sure the boys will be totally confident about getting the result. Obviously, after last week's defeat, how would you mix it up a bit? Would you bring a few players in? What would be your team for the game on Sunday?
Yeah, I'm not too sure really, Rob, but I would do it this weekend. I mean, you could probably play Gareth O'Brien and Michael Dobson at half back and leave Evans at full back and leave Louis on the bench again. Because I don't know, I'll bring Louis back in. Whatever side we play should be good enough to beat Featherstone. I think it's all about whether the players have, whether all this off the field stuff's affected them. I hope it hasn't, and I hope they all come out and give their all, because it's a big game for us. We can't afford to slip up in this game, and we could end up losing this game, if we're not switched on, because everything that's going on off the field, like you said, the players have got to be kept away from it, but they can't be in this day and age now. Social media, and that, I'm sure the players know exactly what's going on, and all the hoo-ha of the last few days, and it's unsettling for them. So I can't wait for Sunday to just get back to the playing rugby league on the rugby pitch, because I'm sick of all this off the field stuff, and let's just go out there on Sunday and start putting a few wrongs right on the pitch and winning the match.
I agree with that, Paul. It's going to be a difficult game, Dan. Looking at the Featherstone squad, it's a strong squad, and they're going to be looking to really unsettle Salford after the last couple of days' news. But I'm sure the players, be up for that. They know the challenges ahead, and they know that Featherstone will come to the AJ Bell on Sunday, looking for a big performance. And as long as the players are focused and complete the game, the plan that they set up, I'm sure they'll get a result, won't they?
Yeah, absolutely, Robin. These players, from the Championship teams, London, Batley and Featherstone respectively, they're going to come to the AJ Bell and to the Batley Stadium, to put one over on us. They're going to look at it and say, they've had 3 games, they've only won 1. So, they're going to come all guns blazing. It's probably one of their last opportunities to try and get a victory in their eyes, because they've all got tough games coming up, and none so more at the AJ Bell on Sunday for Featherstone. Yeah, they've got some quality players. Kyle Briggs, the halfback at Featherstone, I've really rated him when he was at his time at Bradford. And I think he's got a fantastic left boot on him. And he could kick teams. He has been doing in the Championship all year around the park. So, I think they're going to come all guns blazing, to be honest with you. And I think we're going to have to be on our guard for these next 3 games, starting Sunday at Featherstone.
I agree with that, Dan. It's all about a reaction to the news that's come out in the last couple of days for the players. A good performance against Featherstone and a good win would draw a line in the sand and allow the club to kind of move forward from this point. We all want as fans, to see the effort and commitment, which I'm sure the boys will put in, because they know, like you said, that their careers are in the balance here. But I'm sure the boys are going to be fully committed and fully up for this performance, Paul. And I'm sure we're as fans who will back them all the way, won't we?
Yeah, spot on, Rob. Of course we will, mate. We're going to be there long after Marwan Kukash has left, long after Tim Sheens has left, and long after certain players have left and that. So yeah, the supporters are there's a lot of diehard supporters who watch Salford. I know I said to somebody on Facebook this morning, there's not sort of 10,000 of us, but there's 1,500, 2,000 of us who go there, no matter what, and and that's a comforting thing, really, when you think about it. I was down today when I heard that news. My mum actually texted me and told me. It was a bit of a surprise, really. I know we've been talking about the rumour, but it came as a bit of a surprise. And then I've been at work all day and not a bit of concentrating on the Facebook, having a look what was going on, and it's another body blow here, isn't it? I mean, I worry about the club and think about them all the time and just want us to do well. And when stories like this come out, I just want it to be the next game then, so I can go and watch my team and put it right on the pitch, because stuff like this off the field, it doesn't do any good for us, does it? So let's just hope the players are switched on Sunday, and we can put a smile back on the supporters' faces, because it's the Salford supporters I feel sorry for. I mean, we've been kicked in the teeth far too many times, I think, this season. I think the supporters deserve the loyalty to be rewarded, and to put a smile back on the faces for these last 3 games. So get down there on Sunday and let's get a result and kickstart our season and bring it on.
Yeah, Paul. So we started the podcast with a positive, with the under-19s beating Leeds away tonight, and we're going to end the podcast with a positive story. The development of the Willows, the streets and the houses that are being built on there are going to be named after Salford players. We've got Watkins Avenue, we've got Gus Risman Street and Lance Todd Close, to highlight the heritage and the history of the club, and that's a fantastic effort by Roy Bullock, who put all a big effort into that scheme and getting them streets named after our legends. It's a great story, isn't it?
Yeah, that is a great story, that, Rob, and I wouldn't mind living there in them houses myself, but I don't think my wife will let me move house again, having lived in 3 different houses in the last 3 years and been moving about more than a traveller, so I better stay put now for a while. But yeah, that's great. To name the streets after some of the greats there, some of the heroes of the past, and yeah, it's nice to finish the podcast on a positive, and I'm going to finish on a positive note as well, and just encourage anybody to get down there on Sunday and support these lads. It's not a given, this game on Sunday. It's going to be a tough game. Featherstone are going to make it tough for us. Let's make sure we go and get this result, and keep fighting, because there's still some fight left in Salford, and we've got to prove a lot of people wrong. I know there's a club called Lee and a club called Ulcar who think they're safe and think they're staying up this season, and think they can just push us about. So let's make sure we're not in that £1 million game, or if we are, we're going to win it. So let's get out there and get a result, because we've still got work to do.
So that's the end of another Video Game Day podcast. Thanks for tuning into this week's podcast, and thanks for Paula and Dan for taking time out to do the Video Game Day podcast. We quite enjoy the videos that we're putting out. You can find the podcast on Devil in the Detail SRD on Facebook, at DITD SRD on Twitter, and you can find us on SoundCloud, iTunes, and RLinternetradio.com and the League Cast app. So thanks for tuning into this week's Video Game Day podcast, previewing the game against Featherstone Rovers, and we'll see you next week.
It's time for the Devil in the Details Big Match Preview.